first ASMR video. I have no idea what to say. I only recently discovered the whole ASMR scene about 2 weeks ago, but I've experienced it, I think, since I was a kid in school. I think my first memory of it was when I was in lower school. In the UK, that means I must have been about, between the ages of 6 and 11, I think. But I remember sitting next to my friend Grant in class, and it was raining outside, and we were doing our workbooks, and Grant was sucking on a cough sweet locket, and he was just talking about the things that he loved, and he loved American wrestling, and he was just intently talking and focusing on it while sucking on this locket cough sweet. And the combination of the sound and his concentration on his work and his focus on chattering about what he loved, I remember just being not quite hypnotized, but extremely relaxed. These days, it reminds me of the whole AMSR feeling. To me, reminds me when I hear about people saying that certain animals, when held in a certain way and stroked on like their neck or their tummy or something like that, just go limp. Just go into a kind of trance-like state. And it almost feels like that for me. I'm completely aware, I'm not asleep, but I almost can't move. It's a very strange feeling. And so I remember that. That's a memory that I can, that I still remember. And things like that have happened, I think, all through my life. I think the sucking on the cough sweet, I think, is a major trigger for me, along with gum chewing. And people eating certain kinds of food, I think Asian food, I think it's because of the delicacy and the precise nature of eating with chopsticks. Just triggers me like crazy. And if I'm sat next to a work colleague who has brought some sushi or pad thai noodles or anything like that, I have trouble concentrating on what I'm doing because I just freeze and utterly chill out. And sometimes I wonder, what would they think if they knew that the person next to them was in a very pleasant, dozy state just because they were eating their food in the way that they did. Anyway, I think one of my memories, another memory of a major ASMR moment before I even knew obviously what it was, was at university in the computer lab. I was studying computer animation for my MA, and a computer lab is a very quiet, calm kind of environment. And one of my fellow students was sat across from me, and she was chewing Wrigley's Juicy Fruit chewing gum. And the combination of the air conditioning, the hum of a room full of computers, and the quietness of everyone concentrating on what they were doing, and her chewing gum and the smell of Juicy Fruit chewing gum, it was one of the most calming, peaceful experiences of my life. I think back to it now and I think it seemed timeless. And that Juicy Fruit chewing gum now, for me, is just the smell of it is a trigger. And again, before I even knew what ASMR was, I would ask my wife to chew some Juicy Fruit chewing gum while we were sat on the sofa watching television or reading a book. And thankfully, I mean, she thought I was a bit strange, a bit weird, but she indulged me, and so she would chew Juicy Fruit chewing gum, and I would just kind of snuggle up to her and just utterly zone out. So, yes, and so I've experienced that kind of thing for as long as I can remember. I remember one of the strange things is I've had a friend before, and I think it proves that not only is ASMR a strange, very subjective kind of experience that can be extremely relaxing and pleasurable, but certain ASMR triggers, like obvious ones like gum chewing that some people hate, and eating, but even some things that probably most people who do get triggered by ASMR, like certain types of vocal patterns and behaviour, can set other people completely on edge, and they can hate it. An old friend of mine, we were sat in a pub once, and across the way from us there was a woman with her friends, and she was talking, and she had the kind of voice that had these little whistles, and I think they're called sibilances. And for me, I loved it. I couldn't hear what she was saying. I didn't really care. But every time her voice hit those kind of little whispery little whistles, I loved the sound of it. But my friend, he hated it. He even said, "Can we move to another table?" Because even though it wasn't very loud, it was, for him, it was like nails on a chalkboard. I find it very peculiar. But so, only recently I was watching a YouTube video with a woman playing one of my favourite video games, Demon's Souls. And she had a really calm, lovely voice, and she's playing the game in a very calm, structured way. And the combination of it being something that I found genuinely interesting, and her voice and her way of talking about it, it's very, very relaxing. And someone commented underneath the video exactly what I thought, exactly the same reaction. And she was my gateway to knowing that there was a community of people out there who felt the same thing. So that's how I got into it. And it's amazing to find so many videos covering so many different kind of triggers. It was like a whole new world. It was like taking the red pill in the Matrix and waking up to find, I don't know if it's a better world, but a whole new world. And I became a fan of a few ASMRists, both those using fancy binaural mics and also just those using their iPhones like I'm doing at the moment. Softly Galoshes, if I've said that right, binaural stuff was I found it very intense in some ways because I wasn't used to how that binaural stereo sounds like on in some good quality headphones, and I'm lucky enough that I have a really nice pair of headphones that I cherish. And Hannah ASMR, I think, does the most amazing gum chewing makeup videos. And doing an ASMR thing, Canadian ASMRist, and there's a chap who does ones about, among other things, about his cologne collection. And they are really, really nice. He's got a very, very deep, soft, resonant voice. But so wow, 13 minutes 20. Not too bad. I think I'm going to call it a day here. But I've got plans to do some more. Like, in particular, I want to do calmly preparing food while rambling a little bit, maybe chewing some gum and things like that. Anyway, I'll call that a day for now. See how this turns out and sounds, and maybe be brave enough to upload it.